G'day folks and welcome to this playthrough of Normandy 44, Mark Simonit's GMT Games publication. This is my 2010 version, fairly old now, 2010. They're up to a fourth, I don't know if it's the fourth edition or the fourth printing, but a very recent revision of this publication. This is a classic for me. A classic Normandy game. I did a short video just the other day highlighting for me how this is, I called it a Goldilocks game. It's kind of right in the middle of, game versus complexity, one map, accessible, but still quite a hefty game to work through. You're not going to play through this in one evening. I do have a couple of other Normandy 44 playthroughs on the channel, I will admit, of various quality. I haven't played this game, I think, in about 3 years or so, so I'm a bit rusty, but what I'm going to try and do is focus my discussion on decision-making practices in this game. What am I actually doing and why am I doing it? So the idea here is for people who are interested in, is this game for you? It kind of hits a sweet spot for me in Normandy, but will it do so for you? So I'm going to talk about that and kind of try to offer some insight into what this game feels like and whether it may be for you. Now, I've just come off the back of the Battle for Normandy Deluxe, and having reread through the rules for this, there are some remarkable similarities. I think the key difference here is the scale. You're looking at brigades and regiments and battalion scale for most of your units. Divisional formations are important. In this game, you have a main attacking force participating in combat, and units that aren't part of or aren't attached to that main attacking force are, I believe, halved in combat. Is that the rule? So this is, of course, for those who aren't aware, it is part of Mark's, broader style. I won't call it a series. People get upset when I call it a series, but style of Zoc Bond game. There are Zoc Bonds in this title, and a Zoc Bond is basically where you have two units with a gap between them. They create what's called a Zoc, a zone of control bond. I'm going to reach right over here and grab this texture. You can imagine these two units here, which creates a bond either along a hex side or along a hex. And this is called a Zoc bond, a zone of control bond. It bonds the two units together and makes this hex side or hex impassable. So allied units are not allowed to move into that hex or across that hex side. It's an important concept, prevalent throughout many of Mark's designs. Plexiglass, moving along. Okay, so main assault force. Formation is a division, regiment, brigade, or battalion. Any one unit of any size may temporarily attach, and any units not part of that are at half attacking strength. So that's a fairly common rule. I have worked through, you'll notice all these little scattered markers, I've worked through the initial airborne landing phase and the beach invasion phase. This is a very, very simple and streamlined process. It's basically for the airborne landings, you make a roll on, actually the table is over here. Is it identical to what I have in my revised version of the rulebook? This is my 25, so I'm using the edition 2.1 from 2015 version of the rulebook. It is identical. So you roll on this airborne scatter table for every airborne unit landing. You'll notice they are different results for the different divisions. The 82nd has the hardest table. They can potentially lose 2 steps and become scattered. You'll notice they're all scattered, but they got off remarkably well with just 1 step loss. So I rolled 2 5s and then a 4, I think it was, and just 1 step loss for the 82nd. So they're in very good condition. Scattered, yes, but healthy. 101st, somewhat similar. They suffered 2 step losses and some scatter, but in pretty good condition. In fact, it was the It was the 6th Airborne who suffered the worst. They suffered, I haven't actually fixed up their replacements yet, but they suffered for one division, 3 step losses and scattered. So I rolled, whilst the 6th division should be the safest, I actually rolled 2 1s and a 3, I think, on their column. So they are in poor condition out here, and I'm playing this solo, and the Germans are already planning action out here. As the German player, I am going to focus 21st Panzer Division north of Caen. I'm really going to try to hit Sword Beach in strength and see if I can dislodge and separate 6th Airborne Division from the 3rd British Infantry Division and from the Sword Beach. All right, so I'm going to try and get to Oosterham down here. That's my plan. Yeah, that's where I'm going to dedicate resources. That's where I'm going to dedicate my strategic thinking. That's going to mean, so let me talk through my plans. That's going to mean diverting. I'm going to try and move some 352nd Division forces kind of around to here to hold defences, if I can, in this kind of, this is mixed terrain along here. If I can kind of hold just along the Searles River, Cruelly, that would be pretty cool. That would be a success for the German, short-term success at least. Yeah. There are special rules for the defensive column, and I need to remind myself there are quite a few special rules. One of them is that the defensive con, so I think it's any hex within 3 spaces of con. Wow, where is that rule? It's buried somewhere. It's buried somewhere in this rule book. Any hex within 3 hexes of Khan gets I think it might be a free column shift. Karpika Airfield. Yeah, it's somewhere buried in there. I might Google that. I've got a PDF of the rules up. Wow, I spent a lot of time talking about that. Allies, they're just going to try and get on the beach and see what happens, follow the historical schedule. I have done the invasion landings as well. 4th Division has got an advanced 2, so you can see they've advanced down to here. They're going to try and rush towards Carentan. Omaha was a bit painful for the 1st Division. They rolled a 1, so they suffered a step loss, and then special rules for Omaha, you roll again if you roll a 1, and they suffered a 2nd step loss. So 1st Division have struggled, but 29th Division landed with just the 1 step loss, and they're well placed to hit the 352nd. You can see the scattered losses among British and Canadian forces out in Gold, Juno, and Sword. So that's being done. That's sort of like the invasion phase. I just ran through that very quickly. It's really just rolling dice and applying the results. In fact, I did get an advanced 2 on Juno, so you can see I have advanced full strength out here with a kind of a mixed force. Oh, these are the, yeah. So they've got special rules as well. That formation, there's a lot of special rules. Yeah. All right, so where I'm up to right now is, and I'll continue from here, is the turn 1 German player turn. So we've done the special invasion phase. We now have German player turn. They get their full movement allowance, but it is overcast, so there's weather restrictions. Movement on primary road, which would normally be 1/3 for mechanised units, is actually reduced to a half. There is a reminder there. So they pay a half point, which isn't too bad. Ost units are not allowed to move, so they should be, if I can find them, they should be rotated, here we go, rotated 90 degrees to remind myself of that. And special rule on turn 1, the 21st Panzer Division has a movement allowance of 3. So they are going to be somewhat restricted. Special rule to stop them being too devastating on their first turn. All right, so let's get going with these German movements. Anything in black has a special movement rule as well, and I think they are not allowed to move until released, which is basically Cherbourg units. Cherbourg units that will be released. When 17.6. They'll be released if an allied unit is within 2 hexes. Yeah. Okay. So a lot of these units can't move. They can move, so let's get these guys going. They're on a secondary road. Secondary roads are a half, so they can go 1, 2, and then they're on a primary road, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to Valence. Okay. Okay, let's bring up some of these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, that's my dog chewing a toy in the background. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to try and park them around Pont-l'Abbé and stop 82nd Division pushing further west. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We'll keep them in that vicinity. And you'll just notice I'm rotating units 45 degrees once they've moved, as a reminder to myself that they've moved pretty much. Okay, let's get these guys up and we'll try and hold that mixed terrain in here. Let's try it. They can't move. Oh, I should also point out, the assault on Pont-de-Hoc went terribly and the Rangers rolled poorly and were eliminated. And so 5th Rangers, who had already rolled, will come in with the 29th Division on Omaha Beach. So bad luck for the, the Allies. Okay, I want to contain this beachhead. So I'm going to go 1, 2. Keep them kind of locked in there. 1, yeah. 1, 2, we'll hold that. And we've got Zockbond across here. Okay, let's bring this artillery down. 1, 2 to there. 2.5. Give them a good range out here. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Can I try to reinforce some of these coastal positions? 1, 2, 3. Hold on. Oh, crikey, where were they? 3712. So this blockage there, which will cost just 1. Mixed terrain will cost 1 as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. This seems to be, I mean, it's the 6th of June. This seems to be quite free movement. I just wonder if I'm doing this all correctly. As I said, I am a bit rusty. I can't see any rules restricting that kind of really aggressive German response. German player turn. Yep, restricted movement, overcast. No strategic movement on turn 1. Yeah, so they can really push up. These guys cannot move, cannot move, cannot move. That's fine. Got an army unit here. They will swing around to the north and hold Pont-l'Abbé as well for the time being. All right, so shifting attention here, we've got some Fallschirmjäger. We'll bring these up to quarantine. 1, 2.5 to hold there. Oh, I should point out, stacking is 4 points. And a unit with a combat value of 1 or 2 has a value of 1 stacking point. 3 or more has a value of 2. So I've got 1 stacking point, 2 stacking point. I could bring them in there for 4. So they start off with 2109. 1, 2, 3. I can stack all those units there. In fact, I will, because that's going to give me a defense of 9. Now, the way terrain works here is the terrain provides a defender combat bonus, I think it's called DCB, based on the nature of the terrain. So defending in this bocage hex here, bocage will give me +3 DCB. Right, so I'd go 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 combat factors. This is important because there is a maximum combat factor allowance in combat in Normandy 44, and I think it's 18. Let me double check that. Got maximum odds, 18 factor limit. Both the attacker and the defender have 18 combat factors after all halving and modifiers. That means that, I mean, all I really need here is a DCB of 10, and the best the allies can do here is 1-to-1. Does that make sense? So if the maximum attacking factors the allies can bring is 18, then if the Germans have anything above 10 or above, I can never get 2-to-1 odds. I can't get 19 or 20 factors. I can't get 20 factors, so a defense of 10 means I'm capped at 1-to-1, which is not great for the allies. So that's a really solid 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, really solid hex for the Germans. You'll see the little +1 on the right there. That is their troop quality. So this is a high quality unit, and that's important as well. There's various CRTs here: troop quality shift, armor shift, tiger tank shift. These are cumulative, and then support and other things as well. Okay, so we've done that. Let's now, I feel pretty happy with what's going on around Utah Beach there for the Germans. Let's look at Omaha and what we're going to do here, and we'll try and keep them as close to the beach as possible. So let's go 1, 2, hold there. Now this is I think it's a free stacking unit, doesn't count towards stacking. 1, 2 and a half. All right, so I've got 1, 2 and a free stacking unit. And I could also bring 1, 2, bring them up as well. That's still only 3 stacking points. And I could also bring this unit along if I want, but I'm going to, before I do that, so they've moved into there, I'm going to try to contain them on the east side as well. And we'll bring in 1, 2, 2.5, get there, 3.5. So I'm really going to try and contain Omaha Beach, being quite aggressive in my defense. Just making sure these aren't OST units. I haven't moved any OST units by mistakes. Yeah, that's okay. They're not OST. Good, good, good. Okay. All right, now I'm going to dedicate, I think, the rest of 352nd to holding. This is where the British Mulberry historically was built, and we built it. Aramanches Lebanes. Yep. Going to try and hold that town. 1, 1.5. I can go 1, 2 like that. Would like to hold it with a bit of strength, so let's put them in there. And then let's try and create a Zoc bond 1.5. Okay, let's think about this. Sorry, 22, 24. These guys are in a bit of trouble if they sit there, surrounded by a lot of angry Commonwealth forces. It might be better to pull back either behind the river or to Cruelly. I could create, for example, a defensive position here and a defensive position here and create like a Zoc bond line. It is, when you're leaving an enemy zone of control. It is +1 movement. Yeah, +1 to exit. So basically this unit will pay 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm now behind that river, and that river will provide defensive benefits as well. It's a minor river. The attacker will be halved attacking across it. That really helps me. Then we'll put a unit here, and I want to bolster both of those positions. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Now the 21st Panzer Division, movement of 3, but I can go 1, 2, 3. Okay, this unit can go 1. Where were they? Let me rethink that, because 1926. Let me rethink. I may put. Yeah, I'm going to go 1, 2. No, I can't. I can't reach 1. No. What I was hoping to do is get this AT unit in there. 1, 2. I can actually. 1, 2, and then 3. This mixed terrain only costs 1 movement point for mech and non-mech. The reason I've done that is to free this unit up to facilitate my counterattack. So 1, 2. Do zones of control extend across rivers? I believe they do. All hex sides except all sea and impassable. They may be formed across major rivers. Yes, okay, so from 1926, they've gone 1, 2, 3. I'm going to try and hold. Let's actually, before I even do that, let's see how far I can move. Where have these guys come from? 1427, 1, 2, that's as far as I can go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I've got to have someone containing 6 airborne. Have been hit quite hard, but I'm going to try and focus on the west side of the Orne River, Cairn Canal. These 2 little waterways through here. Let's rotate to make sure I remember that I've moved them. I can't just leave that wide open though. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Sorry, the dog is really going crazy with her squishy toy. All right, I can't let. Actually, they won't be able to move into Cairn from here. There's a zone of control here. They can't move. So I can go 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. So I'm putting a lot of strength in here. Yeah, they've moved. All right, so they are not allowed. Actually, hold on. Why would they not be allowed to move? 24, 36. They're in the right setup location. Why do they have I think 17.6. Why do they have a limited activation? Units of the black dot cannot move until release. They are released if on turn 2 or later there's an enemy within 2 hexes. Okay, so the rest of these forces, they're not allowed to move, but these guys can go 1, 2, 3. Okay, and we're done. We're done. Incidentally, these are the Rangers. This is an army unit that was lost on Omaha Beach. DD tank removed. You do roll for DD tanks as well. I think we're done for German movement. So that is the German turn 1, German player turn complete. 21st Panzer Division had a movement allowance of 3. Restricted movement along primary roads was enforced. OSP units did not move. There was no strategic movement or truck movement. I think we're done. Incidentally, you may notice this is the 243rd Division mobilisation and the 709th mobilisation. They start to appear on turn 2, one at a time. We now have Allied turn 1. They do a normal turn 1, and reinforcement units are those in the follow-up wave. Okay, so the Allies, they've already got some units well placed around Gold Juno to push in a little deeper. Again, the Germans have pulled back a bit. Sword is looking a bit constrained. I mean, 6 Airborne. They have some breathing space, I guess, but they've suffered some losses. You do track airborne losses. I pointed that out earlier. And yeah, they're scattered. They're a bit weak for now, but they will get some replacements in time. Okay, so what are the restrictions? Follow-up wave units in the follow-up holding boxes land in the Allied movement phase as reinforcements. Okay, so we've got no replacements in turn 1, movement phase. Let's try and, we've got to clear out. Let's get, so that's the stacking value of 2. This is a glider. They come in as, I'm pretty sure they come in as reinforcements on the beach rather than as actual glider reinforcements. Yeah, it does. The unit arrives on the beaches, doesn't roll for scatter. It's treated like any follow-up wave unit. Okay, so 1, 2 stacking, 3, 4 stacking. Now, you've got, notice here I've got headquarters, engineers, and a silhouetted unit. These are all free stacking units. You're allowed a maximum of 1 of each type of free stacking unit. So any silhouetted unit beyond the first would count as 1. Any engineer beyond the first, you wouldn't have any, I don't think, would count as 1. I think engineers are free stacking. Free stacking units, silhouetted units, I believe they are. So but basically these can land on Utah and they can land with the headquarters on Utah, free stacking. And I think the engineers are free stacking as well. And they can all stack together. So yeah, it's pretty big stack, but I'm fairly confident they're all allowed to go there. I'm trying to find the rules for engineers. And I just can't find them. Beach engineers, these units arrive, blah, blah, blah. They cannot move or attack. They can only defend. They are free stacking units, yes. Okay, so I've moved my reinforcements into that hex. These guys can't move. Look, can't move much around here. I guess these guys can move. They've got a bit of freedom. We'll push in. They're scattered, so they can't move. Yes, scattered units can't move, and they'll lose their scattered status. Scattered unit retains its full defense strength, may do a determined defense, may not move or attack at all. Okay, so I can't do anything out here. Oh, wait a minute, I've got these guys here. All right, they've got a stacking of 2. Let's strengthen them. 2, that's 4. And we'll bring them in. I guess I'll nudge them up into that bocage to try and attack somewhere else, because they're not allowed to move into here. All right, around Omaha Beach, wow. I am pinned in, and I can't really do much. I can bring Corps in, Corps headquarters, 5th Corps headquarters. I can bring a tank unit in. I am not allowed to do anything around here. I'm at maximum stacking. I don't think there's... Oh, engineers can land. Can't bring in that silhouetted unit because I've already got the one. So I'm at stacking capacity here. Held in on the beach on the 6th of June. Hopefully things are better around Juno, a gold Juno sword. They'll hold there. I will... Where am I going to try and push through to? So you can't move through units. As soon as you hit the zone of control, you must stop. So basically these guys can come out here and then stop. Let's try and get the 3rd division. Oh, actually, I've got a choice here. Do I try and push across the Sules River here, the Mu River into this hex? I can try and, I have an option here. I can combine here, or yeah, there's not much. I think I'm going to try and take out, combine with Sword Beach first. I'm going to swing around to the right. I'm going to land, what have I got here? I'm going to land my DD, I'm going to land my engineers here with the core. They can move, and on the turn these reinforcements land, I think they can do a, is it a tactical movement they're allowed to do? Reinforcements, where's the rule for reinforcement movement? I seem to recall they land and they can do a tactical movement. So there are tactical movement rules here. A unit can ignore normal movement and do tactical movement. Tactical movement. I cannot find. Reinforcements, allied reinforcements. Reinforcements they land an open beach hex. They must use tactical movement, 1 or 2 hexes with the landing hex cannons go first, so they can land there. And I'll shift them across. I'm pretty much at my maximum. So I'll leave them there for now. And I'm going to try and focus out on the right here, these strong points. And unfortunately I'm penned in on sword again, so I can't do much here. I don't know, can't land them, can land the engineers because they are free stacking. Wow. Traffic jams. Yeah, okay. And 82nd, look there, they can't move because they're scattered. All right. So now I think that's the Allied movement done with a lot of restrictions. So I think for this first combat phase in particular, the Allies are going to need to be aggressive. They need to, crikey, particularly around Omaha and Sword, where we're not even off the beach. Yeah, that's tough. Just double checking. So when this is the invasion table, so this is what you roll, and on all other beaches like Sword, for example, you make a roll and you'll get either an advance 1 or if you roll a 5 or a 6, an advance 2. But the advance 1, and I'm just double checking, the advance 1, the first hex of the advance has to be into the beach hex. And if you only get an advance 1, I just want to double check that. The first hex has to be, once the beach has been assaulted, the attacking allied units may advance 1 or 2 hexes. The first hex must be into the beach hex and stop. Yeah, so I've done it right. It's just painful. Okay, combat. Now there's another, what else am I think? I need to be mindful of regroup rules. That's another easy one to forget. I'm going to double check the PDF for this because the regroup rules are easy rules to overlook. So there are regroup counters that come with the game. Okay, so regroup. Bear with me 1 second. Okay, if a reinforcement, allied reinforcements land on the beach, if a reinforcement, after they attack, their combat strength, if they attack, they must use attack movement. Allied reinforcements are under the following restrictions on the turn they lead. Now I think these are the starting on turn 2 reinforcements. So I don't know if these are counted as reinforcements. Reinforcements from turn 2 onwards. It says starting on turn 2, you may select any units. Are these invasion units? They're called the follow-up wave. Maybe they're not reinforcements and they're not bound by those reinforcement rules. Technically, these are. They land as reinforcements and must all govern the rules. Must halve their combat strength, etc. So yes, place a regroup marker on them that end their movement adjacent to an enemy unit as a reminder. All right, so here we have the regroup counters. Good that I checked that. So they have their attack strength halved. These guys, the engineers won't be participating. We did have, what did we have regrouping? Now I've forgotten. And I will, to remind myself, I will get the at start. This is the at start setup. So I've got to remind myself who was. So the Tyne and T's here, 50th Division, were on Jig and King, and we had a follow up, which was these guys. So these guys can land. No stacking there. No further stacking there, so I don't need to place a regroup counter. These guys have regrouped follow-up wave from Juno. No need for a regroup counter there. They landed there. This is the 3rd Division. They landed on Mike and Nan, so they're fine. And on Sword Beach, we just landed the engineers, so I don't need, from the follow-up wave, I only land the engineers. So no need for follow-up counters because the engineers won't be participating in combat. So no need to worry about those reinforcements being at half combat strength. Apart from the guys on Utah. So I'm going to put these at the bottom because they are not participants in combat, basically. They've regrouped. All right, so let's, scattered units can't attack. Okay, I think priority has to be clearing out Le Dunes de Varaville. So let's halve them. Let's combine them, sorry. We've got 10, 11, 12, 13. Halved is 6.5. And I'm going to bring in 6.5. What am I aiming for? What CRT? Be good to get to at least. Let's get the 101st here to join. Actually, hold on. What attacking group? This is the. Got the 101st. What's my primary formation here? It's 4th Division. I need to check. You're allowed one attachment, I believe, in the main assault force. And any one unit may attach that is stacked with them. Any one unit. Okay, well, I think I'll attach the... okay. Okay, let's make it 4th Division as the main assault force. So those guys are participating. And then we'll attach... So they've just landed. Then we'll attach the... I don't know what the best thing to do here is. I'm gonna spread this out. So there, that's my main attacking force with that 4th Division unit here. So I've got 3 plus 4, full strength is 7. And then, I don't think it really matters. Can they be halved twice is another question. Because they'll be halved for halving, always halve by individual unit. A unit can never be halved more than once. All right, so that means that they're all halves. I've got, do it again, 3 plus 4 is 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Round up 11. And then that gives me 5 to 1. Now, hold on. I don't think strong points benefit from DCBs. Sorry, folks, a lot of rules to check. 11.2. Strong points do not receive DCBs. Yep. I am attacking though across the marsh hexside. Flooded, sorry. So attacker halved and 1 to the left. All right, that's unfortunate. So let me recalculate everything. They're 3, attacking across flooded. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. With all these forces combined, I've got 11. 11. That's considering halving for flooding. They can only be halved once, so they're not part of the main attacking force. They're halved, they're flooded, they're halved, but they can only be halved once. So basically, you can ignore the flooding for those, but not for these guys. All right, so they're in a mixed terrain. Ignore the DCB. Armor shift is possible for the attacker. All right, modifiers. Troop quality shift. So let's run through these and explain kind of how these all work. It also helps to remind myself. If the best troop quality rating in the attacker's main attacking force, 0 for example, is better than the best TQ, which it is, -1, then I get to shift 1 column to the right. I think I've got room to bring this CRT down here. I do. So we're looking at 11 to 2, 5 to 1, 6 to 1 for the troop quality shift. I don't think I need, I'm almost guaranteed, on this column, I am guaranteed a D1 result, which is all I need. So I'm happy with that. There is also, what other troop shift? Armor shift. Did I have armor? I do have an armor shift. So it's another column shift. Right. I have air, I have navy, but I'm not going to use it right now. Yeah, I'm not going to use it right now because I don't think I need it. I'm on 7 to 1. All units in the main attacking force are not, you notice they are not attacking across a flooded hex site, so I don't suffer that punitive modifier. Not a hilltop, it's not a clear weather turn. I think we're good to go on 7 to 1. A 5 is a DH result, is defender must lose half its steps, rounded up, they're gone. The event of the attacker may advance after combat or place the attacking units in reserve. So let me talk about reserve, because it's one of the things that I have underutilized in the past. I can place them in reserve by placing a reserve marker. Where are my reserve markers? I did put them somewhere. Here we are. I could place, for example, these guys, the main attacking force, in reserve. They may, okay. The attacker may advance after combat or place attacking units in reserve. Look, I think I'll just advance after combat. So basically, during reserve combat, basically if I place them in reserve, I can then do a tactical movement to here, and then do a reserve combat into here, which might be worth it. So that's kind of just what I was weighing up. So they'll go in reserve. That'll be a decent. It'll help me, I guess, get momentum. So I'm placing them in reserve. The plan is to move north and attack again in the reserve combat phase. Is there a reserve combat phase? Is there a reserve? Oh, on the first turn. All these little exceptions that I've got to... did I read anything about there being no reserve on the first turn? Okay, units with regroup can't be placed in reserve due to combat results. All right, that helps me with that decision. So because they had a regroup marker, again, this is all the 4th Division who are in the landing hex, this unit could, but they're not enough to attack alone. So instead of that, I am just going to move... I'm going to move 4th Division up the coast with this 4th Division regiment and their armour. Now, in an advance after combat, you don't have to advance into the hex. I want to with 4th Division. 4th Division is going to be tasked with pushing north, but I'm going to move the 101st Airborne Gliders inland so that they can keep their main attacking force together. So this is the idea of regimental integrity. 4th Division stacking, moving north, 101st advancing into a friendly area, a friendly adjacent area. They've advanced west, basically. All right, now the next combat phase. I want to clear out this hex here, an Ost battalion. They attacked. I've got 9 on 2, which is 8 to 1. I have superior troop quality. Sorry, not 8 to 1. 9 to 2 is 4 to 1. Troop quality shift, armor shift. I am going to bring in some air. So an air support gives me an additional column shift just to push. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to use that. I feel 6 to 1 should be enough. These are just one step units. I think I'm guaranteed to wipe them out whatever I roll. So let's roll. A 6 is a DH result. So they are wiped out. I can now place these units. Now these two, I can place in reserve, but actually, so strength of 9, it might give me 2 to 1 here. What else can I do? 2 to 1, and 9, that would be 9, plus the benefit. I didn't consider, let me recap, I didn't consider their terrain. So they're in Bocage, and Bocage adds, sorry, I forgot about that. Bocage adds 3, but you only add, I believe you only add DCB up to the defender's strength. Yeah, can never exceed their printed strength. So they have a strength of 4 actually. So it is 9 on 4, which is 2 to 1. Armor shift, troop quality shift, a roll of 6 is a D1 result. It's the same result. And I will, what am I going to do? I kind of want to keep attacking, and I'm looking for opportunities to attack. This is not such an opportunity. They'll have a defense of 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'll be 1 to 1 here. they'll have a defense of 7, so it'll be 1 to the 1 there. But that's what I'm thinking of doing. I think I might attack move. My thinking is put these guys in reserve. They're part of that initial wave, so they're not under regroup markers. Only the reinforcements are. They're going to attack move north and hit one of these 2 hexes, which I'll work out later on. I said I was going to check if there's a reserve. I'm pretty sure there is. Reserve movement on turn 1. If there is a rule, it's really buried. Yeah, I can't see it. I've searched for a reserve through the PDF and I can't see it. So I think, yeah, I think they're allowed to. There is a reserve movement phase on the first turn. Let me check. A normal player turn. I've got to remember as well. Whoa. Got to remember, another easily forgotten rule is the reinforcement limits landing on each beach. But I've just read, follow-up waves do not count against the reinforcement point limit of each beach. So each beach has a limit of, I think it's 4 stacking. Yep, there's a couple of these obscure rules. Reinforcements, I don't even know where the reinforcements rules are, but there are beach stacking limit somewhere. I will check that out later. Here we are. Reinforcement landing, reinforcement restrictions, that's about engineers. It'll be here somewhere. No more than 4 RPs per turn may be brought in through each beach. I've even highlighted it because it's an easily forgotten rule. All right, so we're done around here. They're scattered, they can't do anything. Here we go. And this is where I need my air and my naval support. Omaha Beach. They're engineers, they're not attacking. These guys are part of the initial wave. We've got 13 on a tough defense. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we're just at 1 to 1. I have no troop quality benefit. Okay, I have an armor shift. All right, so let's go. We're at 1 to 1, 2 to 1 with my armor. Oh no, wait, I don't get an armor shift benefit because they brought their flak in, so I don't get that. I will bring in 2 air support. I'm allowed to bring in the allies. Oh no, wait. wait. I think it's only 1 air support. Only 1 air per combat. Yeah, until turn 17 when I can use 2. So 1 air support. 1 naval support. We'll bring in the Nevada to help me out. Oh boy. And that's it. Do I have my headquarters landed yet? I do. Should I use it here? Can I use headquarters on the turn they land? I think I can. What? I don't remember reading anything about... Yeah. Oh wait, I have no supply points. So no, I can't bring that in. Yeah, can't do that. No supplies, no headquarters. All right, so we're looking at 3 to 1. Any defender shifts? Oh, main attacking force, that's fine. Hilltop, no. Just double checking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 for mixed terrain. That's it. Let's roll on the 3 to 1. A 2 is an exchange result. All right, so each side loses 1 step. The their opponent chooses. I think I just want to take away one of their infantry steps to just try and reduce the strength of that stack. They will, the Germans will take part on those big units. Or, so we've got armor, more armor coming in, so let's not worry about the armor for now. Unfortunate exchange result. That's it, no retreat. All right, let's try over here then. Core, we have got 8, 9, 10, 11 attacking versus 5, 6, 7. So again, it is 1 to 1. Bringing in some air, 2 to 1. Bringing in the Texas, 3 to 1. No, oh, I do have troop quality benefits. I do have, they've got a -1 there, so I do get the troop quality shift, but no armor. So we're looking at 4 to 1 and a die roll of 2. 4 to 1, which is a DR result. Okay, DR result. They either retreat or conduct a determined defense. Now this is, it's not clear terrain, it's other terrain. I'm out of range of my support. I would need a 5 or a 6 to succeed. The lead unit's troop quality is pretty low, so I'd be -1. Geez, I'd love to roll a 6 here, but I don't like my chances. The best I can hope for is an exchange. It's a 1 in 6 chance. What's the worst case? Worst thing that can happen is nothing. I just failed the determined defense. Do I try it? Try roll a 6? I think I do. So I've got my lead unit, who unfortunately is a -1 to my dice roll because of their troop quality. So in other terrain, yeah, I need a 6. I've got no support. So I'm looking at this column here, needing a 6 -1 to cancel the retreat. Let's try it. No. So no effect, I have to retreat. I will pull back to here on that road, easing my movement if I need to pull back even further, and the attacking forces can advance. All right, so I've got a little tiny bit of breathing space on Omaha Beach. All right, let's look over here. We're going to try and push into Arromarches, Libanese. We've got 9, 10, 11, 12 on 4 plus 2 is 6. So we're looking at a base of 2 to 1. I do think this is an important hex. So I'm going to throw some tack air at it, make it 3 to 1. I have armor, but no troop quality shift. Looking at 4 to 1, let's go with that and see what happens. A 5, 4 to 1, 5 is a D1 result. They lose 1 step, they're both the same pretty much, and they must retreat or conduct a determined defense. Let's try and pin them in again, needing a good die roll. Oh, that's not one. So we retreat, and I should point out, sorry, when I retreat, got to remember this, they are disrupted. So they are disrupted, and they are disrupted, and they can advance off the beach, giving me some breathing space on Gold Beach. I am tempted to attack across this river. The Sewells River, giving me even more breathing spaces. That minor river there will give the, will halve my attack. 4. So I have 9, 10, 11, 12, halved to 6 against their 6. So it'd be 1 to 1. I don't think, I think my, I need to check about armor shift across a minor river. All right, taking across a major river, it's cancelled. I still get it across a minor river. Yeah, so that's a minor river. This is a major river down here, the Orne River, sorry. So look, starting at 1 to 1, I could bring some air in. I think that's a pretty important combat. If I can push them out of here, I'm into the open space, and they're already pushed out of that mixed terrain. So 9, 10, 11, 12. Half to 6. We're looking at 1 to 1 as a base. No troop quality shift, but I get the armor shift. I'm going to bring in the air for an air shift. Double checking. So I'm checking naval support, 19.2. All right. So basically, you may be able to see, I think this blue line, I think that's the limit of naval support. Is that the naval support line? I'm trying to find out where it says it. 19.2. Must be within the naval bombardment zone. Yeah, it's just a one column shift to the right. So I'm going to bring in the Ramillies to give me another shift. So what we're up to, 1 to 1. I said armor shift, air, navy. Looking at 4 to 1 here. And the Germans have no support they can draw upon. So we're looking at 4 to 1. 6 is a D1 result. We'll take our infantry off, leaving our bicycles. They can attempt a determined defence. Would love to be able to defend there just for one more turn. Let's. But I'm going to suffer an exchange result unless I roll a 6, which will lose my unit entirely. So I think I'm going to retreat back here. I'm going to take it, and they're disrupted, and they can advance. Okay, hold on, I'm not within 3 hexes of Caen, so I can't get that mysterious modifier that I was talking about earlier. All right, let's now hit and try and combine Juno and Sword. I have got, so these guys landed in the first wave, so I've got 8, 9, 10, 11 on 2. So 5 to 1, 5 to 1. Troop quality shift, armor shift. 7 to 1, 5, they're wiped out. And I can place that formation in reserve because they were part of the initial wave, not reinforcements. They may have an option to do more in a moment, depending on what happens here. All right, so now I've got 6, 11. That's my main attacking force, 11. I'm attaching the Special Air Service Brigade. So 11, and they're halved. 11, 12, 13 on 3 is 4 to 1. Ooh, they have good troop quality. But so do I. So we're net 4 to 1. I have armor shift 5 to 1. I think I'm guaranteed to dislodge them, whatever I roll. So look at 5 to 1. 5 to 1, 6 is an A1 D2. 1, 2, I needed that D2. That wipes them out. A1 D2, the attacker loses 1 step, chosen by the defender. All right, what are they going to choose? They're going to pick the, yeah, that elite unit. They must retreat, blah, blah, blah. The attacker may advance after combat or place units in reserve. Let's try this, placing units in reserve. I've still got some reserve markers. Again, this might let me combine. I can tack move. Oh no, may not be able to. Gives me some options just by placing them in reserve, which I'll consider later on. All right. Out of Sword, I want to hit this. Yeah, I want to hit this strong point here. Engineers won't participate, so I've got 9. That's my main attacking force. And then they will be halved. So 9, 10, 11 on 2 is again 5 to 1. Troop quality 6 to 1. Armor 7 to 1. A die roll of 4. That's unfortunate. A1 D2. If the defender had only one step, then the attacker loses none. So I don't lose anything. And I can place my units in reserve, which again I will do. It just gives me that opportunity for reserve movement and then reserve combat. Nothing the 6th Airborne Division can do. So that is the end of combat. We now do reserve movement, 15.2. And I'm just going to double check. Yep, a unit in the follow-up wave can't be placed in reserve. I can't see anything about it not being allowed on turn 1. Hopefully I haven't missed anything. So let's do reserve movement. Again, reserve movement, you are allowed to do attack movement, which is, or tactical movement, or use half their MA. So what I'm looking at over here, again, these guys are scattered, but I do have these 2 units. I'll keep them under the reserve marker. Oh, here we go. We do have some British. We flip them over, and they're British brown. Commonwealth brown, I should say, which looks a lot better for these Commonwealth troops. All right, over here, we've got a strength of 9, and I said I'm going to try and gamble. So I'm going to tack move into here. And I'm going to try and attack this formation there in just a moment. Where is my other reserve? Here, I'm going to tack move, and try and hit strong point Hillman up here. Here, I'm going to tack move up here. So there's no Zockbond across there. And I'm just going to try and hit, I'm clearing space off the beach to hit Oosterham. That's all my reserve movement. Now I get to reserve combat. Yeah, that's it. So, as I said over here, I have 9. They have 7. So I'm looking at 1-to-1 odds. I don't get a troop quality shift, but I do get... Yeah, I do get an armor shift. I think I get the armor shift for Bocage. I'm just going to double check that. 11.4 armor shift. Into or out of flood attacks, city or woods, attacking into a city or woods, you don't get it. You don't get armor shift into an SP. My apologies. I've got to keep that in mind. I've made a few mistakes there. Sorry. I think the combat was quite convincing anyway. It was either 6-1 or 7-1 against those strong points, but I will keep that in mind for future. All right, so looking at 1-to-1 column armor shift. I'm going to bring in the Air Force to make it 3-to-1. 5 is an A1 D1 result. A1 D1, I'm going to lose an infantry step from that 4th division. A1 D1, they either retreat or conduct a determined defense. I think they'll retreat just 1 space, and I will advance after combat into there. All right, so that's all Utah Beach done. They're done. They need to take place a disrupted marker. Must remember that. That's another rule I easily forget. Right, these guys in reserve will be halved across this minor river. So they will go down to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on 8. Don't like my chances there, so they are not going to attack. Okay, just not gonna. I'll be starting on 1 to 2. They have AT, so I wouldn't get the armor. I would get a troop collar shift to bring me up to 1 to 1, but then I've got... Actually, you know what? Let's just wait and see what happens elsewhere. Over here, I have got 8, 9, 10, 11 on 2, so I've got 5 to 1. It's a strong point, so no armor shift, no troop quality shift. So I've got 5 to 1, no modifiers. 4 is a D1 result. Strong point Hillman is removed, and I will advance into that hex. So this is good because I've kept keeping the Germans in Epron in this clear terrain. The Germans were would like to have this mixed terrain just to get that DCB for the infantry. They now don't. Over here, I would like to try and attack Oosterham, defensive 4 in a city, gives them a 5. So that's, again, a maximum of 4, defensive 8. I've got 9, 10, 11. Sorry, I've got to keep my engineers on the beach. Oops, on that beach. Oh, maybe I don't want to advance with everything. I'm going to keep them there. The reason being I've got to protect my engineers on the beach in case that Ost battalion does decide to attack. They can still join this combat. So I've got 9, 10, 11 on 8, 1 to 1. Let's bring in that for 2 to 1 and that for 3 to 1. And my elite unit 4 to 1. No armor shift because I'm attacking into a town. So I've got 4 to 1. 1 is an exchange. They're going to take the hit. They can choose. The Germans will choose to hit that. And we will take the Ost battalion off. The defender, no retreat. All right, so Oosterham holds. I'm out of my support now, which means I'm not going to do any more combat. I said I'd wait, but yeah, I just wanted to see what happened elsewhere. We're done. We now do the recovery phase, and this is where these scattered markers are removed. So now the airborne, well, from now on, the airborne will be able to be a bit more, well, do something at least. Recovery phase, remove replacement and disruption markers, remove all reserve. Supply phase, everyone's in supply. We've cleared out this area now. Everyone's in good nick. Check supply, roll for attrition. Conduct any desired airborne withdrawals. Check for a victory. We're done. That's the end of the first turn. We look to proceed to turn 2, the 7th of June, 1944. All right, so let's advance to turn 2, and the first thing we do is determine the weather. But on turn 1, it was fixed as overcast. On turn 2, the weather will either be overcast 2 or overcast 3. We roll a die. If it's a 2, it is overcast 2, I think. Yes, overcast 2. So the same weather result. Yep, same effects. Road movement is. Primary road movement is just a half. Okay, can we look at mulberry construction? Let me check the mulberry rules and see what we can do. Okay, a beach is open if an allied engineer is in one of its hexes. Yep, so gold, for example. That's it. The British mulberry. So let's take the mulberry. Let's find the mulberry. Let's find the mulberry for a start. They're all the way down here in my setup sheet. Okay. 5 turns after arrow marches is Allied control. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was controlled on turn 1. So we will have this mulberry on the 11th of June. The US mulberry is open 5 turns after German forces are no longer in or adjacent to these Omaha beaches. Well, that's not the case just yet. So we'll keep that on my setup chart. We still have Germans adjacent to the beach just here. So the mulberry is underway. Both players receive supply points now. Okay, so the German player must recall the number of supply points received by moving the 7th Army and or Fortress Cherbourg on the records track. So we look at the, it's overcast 2. The Germans get 2 improved positions. They get 2 supply points. 1, 2. They get 1 armor replacement point. The Allies get 1 American, 1 infantry replacement point. No armor. The British get 1 infantry replacement point. No armor. No Canadian replacement point. Okay, was I not meant to have air units on the first turn? Damn, I think I may have misplayed that. Where's the setup chart? It did tell me to place them in the holding boxes. Damn, I'm sorry. I misplayed the air units. Shouldn't have had air last turn. Air support 19. Starting on turn 2, I get air units. Damn, okay, sorry about that. Misplayed air. So no air this unit. I do get 2 and 2 naval units though. My apologies, misplayed that on turn 1. A couple of column shifts for combat, hopefully not too consequential. All right, so Germans get 2 improved positions. They can't be built before the 10th of June, so we ignore that. Okay, the supply points and replacements have been accumulated. German play a turn. German replacements. So what have they got? They got 1 armor, 2 infantry. Now what have they've lost? They've lost OS units. OS units I don't think can be rebuilt. And I've just lost a couple of infantry steps. Can't rebuild the strong points, which are all over here. They're quite piling up. All right, so we're just looking at what I can potentially rebuild. OS units can now move. Let's straighten these units up so I know they can move again, don't get confused. All right. Whew. German replacements. Got 2 infantry, 1 armor. Alright, well, I've got 3 units of the 352nd sitting here. Let's try and rebuild them. And I'm going to place them next to the headquarters down there. I'm fairly sure that's all okay. Rebuilt units, where are the rules for these rebuilt units? Replacements in a hex with a friendly headquarters of the same nationality or in a town or city hex that is friendly control. So I could put them in a friendly town or city that is friendly control. So I could put them there. I could put them both in Bayeux. That would be pretty cool. Just to hold Bayeux in strength. I'm going to do that. Put them both in a friendly city, a city hex that is friendly controlled. Done. They must be within 5 hexes of another unit of their division. I'm pretty sure there's some 352nd. Yep, they're very close. Done. Done. All right, that was easy. German movement phase. Okay. Now we also have some German reinforcements coming in. Quite a lot, actually. So the reinforcements are color-coded. You've got red, blue, green, orange, and basically they come in. So the blue units with a blue turn of entry in the top right, they come in blue hexes. Units with a red turn of entry come in on the red hexes. Simple as that. So we've got 346 Division out here, and we've got the 12th SS starting to arrive from the east. Yeah, I'm annoyed by that air combat stuff up. Okay. German movement phase. Okay. I think I'm going to pull these guys back to Montabaur, pull them back to there, and then nudge these guys in. So that creates a Zoc bond across there. The aim is to recover, pull them back just a little bit. It's still a Zoc bond across here now, so the Americans can't move across there. They'll have to force their way in. But in the recovery phase, we'll remove that disrupted marker. I'm just double checking. Yes, you instantly remove disrupted markers. In many Zocbon games, you have to roll if you're adjacent enemy forces, not in Normandy 44. So they're just pulling back. I'm going to move this armour. What else have I got around here? Strong point unit, strong point unit. These guys can't move. 1, 2, hold on. 1, 2 into here, and I'm going to move this armor. No, I'm not. I'm going to keep that armor where it is and move this unit 1, 2 like that. So I've got defensive 6, defensive 6 there. Yeah. These guys, 1, 2, just moving to the bocage to block these areas, create a Zoc bond across there so the 82nd can't move in. Yeah, they can't move any further around this area. They'll recover from disruption, and I'd like to get, easy decision, moving armor into this hex, giving them some armor benefits. Defensive 6 plus bocage gives up to 9. A defensive 5 plus bocage puts them up to 8, and likewise there. So looking healthy. I'm pretty happy with those defenses around that area. Omaha, again, I don't need to retreat with these units. I would like to get the OS unit 1, 2, just trivia there to protect this behind the Ur River there. They can move 1 hex max, but I think I'm going to keep them in Bayou for the time being. They're disrupted, but they will recover, giving me a defensive 5, 6, 7 in that hex. Strong point there. Yeah, they're a bit vulnerable, so I might. What are the penalties for being disrupted? Is it tactical movement only? 13.6. All right, so when you are disrupted, you must use tactical movement. So I'm going to use tactical. In fact, you know what? I'm going to push forward with these guys. So they're disrupted and replacement, 1 hex max movement. So they've tack move back, tack move forward. I'm going to defend just behind the Ur River on that little bend in the river here. That'll halve any attackers coming forward. Unfortunately, I'm a bit worried about this position here. So I'm gonna hold there, but they're gonna need some help. And this is where 1, 2. This is where I don't know what to do. I don't want to, but I feel I have to bring some of the 21st Panzer Division out to help. I can do strategic movement. I've also got trucks. I can use my trucks on this turn. I'm looking at this security unit here. 1, 2, 3. They can't. They're going to be kind of stuck out in the open. It's either bring the security unit over or bring 21st Panzer Division over, neither of which makes me too happy. Security unit 1, if I give them trucks, 1, 2, 3, I could, let me double check strategic movement rules as well. So strategic movement, it doubles movement. Strategic movement. Okay, mechanized units. So I've got these trucks. Let's talk about trucks first. German trucks allows 1 German non-mechanized unit to become a mechanized unit with a movement allowance of 5. And if doubled, maybe doubled to assign, if assigned a strategic movement marker. But with strategic movement, I can't end my move stacked within a unit and can't move adjacent. So they would certainly be able to move fast, but then they'd be kind of stuck by themselves. And then I've got 12th SS, and they can strap move rapidly out to this vicinity, which is what I'd like to do. So maybe I focus my 3 German strategic movement markers, which are all up here, 1, 2, 3, on the 12th SS, and get them to rush along this road as far as they can. Maybe I can't imagine. What am I going to do? How am I going to hold? I wanted to counterattack. They've got a defense of 9, 10, 11. So look, now the German, like this is it. The Germans could counterattack, but I just don't like their chances of doing much. They've got 1-to-1 if they attack here. And they've got not much support. Oh, they will have the Khan support. Let me talk about that. I said I'd follow that up. All right, so let me mention the Khan City artillery support. They get artillery shift and defensive support to all combat within 3 hexes of a German-controlled Khan City hex. It does cost a supply point. Now within 3 hexes, yeah, this would give me an artillery shift. It would cost a supply point, but then, you know, they've got their own artillery and everything in the area. I think it's best to reluctantly bring my armor out. 1, 2, 3, mixed terrain 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so I'm bringing them out there. I'm keeping that infantry in that hex. I am going to tack move these guys into Kruli. All right, that's it's not ideal. What would be nice is having a big, strong hex here. I just don't want to leave. Yeah, I'm going to move them into Kruli. It's a good position there. They're probably going to hit me hard. But yeah, then I'm going to go 1, 2 to leave zone control, 3, 4. And I'm going to try and hold everything. I'm going to go, wow. 1, 2. And what that does is it creates a Zoc bond along here and a Zoc bond along here. But they're not very strong by themselves. So I'm going to bring in these guys to go 1, 2, 3. They're still not very strong. 1, 2, 3. That's still not a very strong area. 4, 5, 6 on defense in a town. It actually brings it up to 10. So that is a strong hex now. Good troop quality, armor, etc. They have a defense of 8 in mixed, 8, 9, 10. They're also pretty strong. Note the gaps around here. What am I going to do here? I am going to just bring them out. And I would like to reinforce that area. Here we go. We've got a motorized unit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I'm going to stop there. I can't see. Is the 6th Division going to attack me this turn? Hopefully not. Maybe I can bring out just 12th SS to hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope. Here we go. They don't add much. So they've got their reconnaissance unit with 6 movement, but very weak defense. Let's get them moving out. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They've moved. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. They've all moved. They can now move, and they'll just nudge into there. That's all. They can't move yet. They haven't been released. Okay, let's get strap movement on 3 of these big SS formations. They're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. and then go all the way out to here. And I'm just going to follow up with 12th SS Battalion and 12th SS Regiment. These guys are going to be following slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they've moved. Moving my artillery, my headquarters up into there. All right, I think we're done. Okay, here we go. We haven't moved these guys yet. Let's move 1, 2. We'll just hold Isinissime there, and we'll bring our headquarters up into there. Everyone's moved. Oh, wait. We have our mobilisation of the 243rd and the 709th. And I think it's just picking one of each of them. Where are the special rules for these units? Cannot see the special rules for those units. It is the 243rd. Okay, 2 units, blah, blah, blah. Just saying on turn 2, I can take 1 unit from each box, place it on the division's mobilisation hexes on the map. All right, so basically I take, what do I want here? Do I want AT or infantry? I think I'm going to take, look, some AT would be good. I know they're bringing in a lot of tanks, and I place it, I try and find the mobilisation hexes, with those little markers. I think they're all along here. So yeah, I place that. I put it up here, and they'll race along to the north. Then I take a 709th again. So where are their mobilisation hexes? Yep, up here, place them there. They're placed. Are they allowed to move? They may move and attack normally on the turn they're placed. Yes, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm allowed to stack them there legally. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Get some 18 there. Good, nice big strong. Although I see this tank unit along the coast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into there. Nice. German defence is looking strong. Okay, it's German movement complete. Now the German combat phase. Let's have a look at what I can do. 6, 6, 7, 8, no, 7, 8, 9. That'd be 2 to, no, it wouldn't be. It'd be 1 to 1 with their bocage. So low odds. All right, what have I got here? I've got some of the 709th. 1, 2, yeah, not much really. Over here, no. Yeah, there's not much opportunity at the moment for a counterattack. I was hoping, I spoke earlier about the plan to drive down here, and I'm not in a position to do so because of what's happening here. And so I think I'm just going to hold everywhere. These guys are definitely not in position, so am I saying no German combat? I think I'm saying no German combat. Which is not what I wanted. I wanted to be active, but yeah, playing it somewhat cautiously for now. Just getting, look, 12th SS is almost in position. They're almost in Bayeux. That'll be amazing if they can get to Bayeux before the the Allies can. All right, so combat is complete. No reserve movement or combat. German recovery phase. We can now remove our disrupted markers. Remove the replacement markers. And remove strat. Do I remove? I think I remove. Do I remove strat movement markers? Recovery. Remove all reserve markers? No. When are strat move markers removed? The marker remains during the opponent's turn. It is removed in the next friendly movement phase. So they have to stay on there. Yeah, but look, okay, I'm okay. I'm okay with everything. Nobody panic. Defences are looking decent. Omaha Beach is still quite constrained. Okay, so recovery is complete. Supply phase, everyone's in supply. Great, no isolation. We remove their supplied. We remove German IPs. There's no IPs. Let me check about strong points. Oosterham. Okay, so I think these guys are out of supply. Unit just be out of supply. If a unit it receives an out of supply marker, if they're still out of supply next turn, then they're red and isolated. If they can trace to a strong point, which they are, they get a +2 modifier. That's it really, it's just the one strong point. Even these guys can trace supply. Okay. Allied turn. We do allied replacements. I took 2 replacement steps. Sorry, I should have marked that. All right, so I've got 1 American infantry, 1 British infantry, and then the airborne. So the airborne replacements. Right, clear and overcast, I get 6 US and 6 Commonwealth. Let's focus on this first. I get my replacement points to spend first. Omaha's going to be a bit busy. We'll have some units coming in here, great. Let's send our replacements, US replacements, to Utah. What do I need? What do I need? And what do I want? So here's the, it's just off to the side. You spend points. I've got 6 US, 6 Commonwealth. Looking at the US column, a couple of armoured units too. I've already got some good armoured units there. Another 1 or 2 might be good. Maybe, you know what? I'm just thinking bring on the 90th Division and that's 3 reinforcement points and bring on another 90th, bring on the 90th Division. I think that's 6 points. I can only bring in 4 per beach. So I'd be looking at 3 and a tank destroyer. Is that what I want? Or some fast-moving reconnaissance units. So that's 3. I have 3 more points for the US. Here we go. That'd be a silhouetted unit, right? And then a tank destroyer in Omaha. I have my 6 points. 4 replacement points, no, because that costs 2. So I could bring in that there, and I could bring in that's 4 replacement points. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2 coming in at Omaha. At least I'm spending 2 at Omaha. May not be able to bring it in this turn. 6 Commonwealth forces. I definitely want some armor. I'm looking at the 7th Armoured, big, hard-hitting, fast-moving units. Yeah, I'm going to bring in these guys. Start of the 7th Armoured coming in on Gold Beach, Jig Beach, Gold Beach. That's 6 points. I can only bring in 4 per, maximum 4 per. Is it 4 per beach? For each beach, yes. Yep. So 4 there, 2 there, done. Then that's my points for supplies. Then I get my replacements. And where am I going to spend those replacements? Okay, let's look at any 4th Airborne. Did I suffer a 4th Division? Yes, I did. Let's take replacement here, and we'll mark that. So they've taken a replacement. All right, that's 1 infantry point. I've got 1 Commonwealth replacement point. Let's bring it to these guys. Okay, they're done. Replacements spent. Okay, and that's done. Now airborne replacements. Allied airborne divisions get a maximum of 1 replacement per division per turn. Yeah. All right, so I get 1 for the 82nd. That's okay, they're holding some Mare Glease. That's 1. Let's get my replacement markers. And they're back up to strength. 101st gets 1. And they're back up to strength. And the poor 6th Airborne, yeah, they'll take that big step there. And that's 1. So I took 2 US. How are they up to strength, I'm wondering? No, there's 1 more. They're not up to strength yet. That's why there's 1 more step there. 1 British, that's all they can take. And we're done. Okay. Whew. Replacements done. Allied movement phase. All right. Let's try and extend this beachhead. Let's try and hit this point here. Let's try and get some units off these beaches. We've got my engineers and the beach good. I can tack move these guys. So yes, they're on the beach here, but I can go tack move up to here, for example. So they go 1, 2. That lets me land all these forces. Now keep in mind they will be landing under a regroup marker. So I've got stacking of 2, 3, and 3. They regroup. They can't do much here, can they? I will land 1st Division unit and some armour, but they're kind of stuck there and they won't go any further. All right. Landings over here. There's my engineers, there's my headquarters. Hitting the beach here. Let's get 90th to push inland. Tack move to there. They don't need a regroup marker. 101st will move just, I think, they should not be scattered. They were cleared last turn. I will just tack move them around to here. 82nd will just, I'm actually going to move inland. I've got a Zoc across here. In fact, I'm going to move this tank destroyer up to here and put a regroup marker on it as a reminder. Whilst the 90th pushes, actually I'm going to push the 90th there. I'm just going to try and push straight west. So probably not much combat going on. They've taken replacements. I have 9, they'll be halved, 10, 11, 12. I can get a 1-to-1 maybe with naval support. We'll see what happens. That's about it. I could tack move up to there. Yeah, I'm going to tack move up to here and try and focus, yeah, on this hex maybe. Maybe 5, 6, 7, 8. Or have I got 7? Yeah, maybe. Okay, so looking around the British beaches, Commonwealth beaches, sorry, we have got, yeah, we'd like to clear out Longueuil-sur-Mer. We're going to move. I think we're just going to nudge west to there. I want to clear out Cruelly, and that is a town which has a +4 DCB. So I'm going to try and hit it hard. With what though? I've got a mix of formations here, and that's problematic. Wow, I've got so many different formations here. Maybe, where'd they come from? Here. Maybe if I go like that and get the 50th Division to hit here, and then these guys, they can land and then attack move. I'm going to move these guys up to here. They're not going to attack. These guys who were already here will do what? So they've got keep them in the center, I think. Maybe we'll just engineers and the core must stay there. I've got 1, 2. They'll join in, and we'll keep this this division together. Canadians will swing around, so they'll land and then attack move across. So we're moving the 7th Armoured towards Bayeux, and keeping the engineers on the beach, the core there. I didn't buy Allied supply points. I'm just looking at the supply point reminder up here. I didn't purchase them. That's okay. What do we got here? Divisional armor, 3rd Division hitting here. Maybe I'll try and hit across the river here. I'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Maybe I can try it. I'm going to move these guys. I'm just going to do a little bit of attack move into there to strengthen that position. Okay. Down here, I am just going to move some forces around. So these guys who have landed 3rd Division, 3rd Infantry Division, they're going to go 1, 2 for leaving the zone of control, and then 3. And then, and this is going to hold that hex basically. To leave room for 3rd Division to come on with a silhouetted armour. They can't land. They don't have the room. Oh, okay. What do I do here? They've got a good defence going on there, so I'll move this formation up to there. They are just going to hold there and attack that strong point, and I'm done. So not a lot happening. Maybe the Canadians can attack the 21st Panzer Division here. That's 8, 9, 10, and I have 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. I get 1 to 1. They have troop quality. They have AT. Maybe not. Maybe. What have we got over here? 4, 5, 6, up to 10. Yeah, it's already looking tough. I think I'm just going to leave it there. All right, so so Allied movement is complete. Allied combat, and as I said, I think I'd like to hit this hex here. Negative troop quality and a strong point 5, 6, 7, 8 versus my 7. So I've looked at there's the main attacking force, 7, and then these guys are halved, 8, 9, 10. So I'm looking at 1 to 1, but I have superior troop quality. So 1 to 1 becomes 2 to 1, and I'm going to bring in the Navy here to make it 3 to 1. That's it. Now, the Germans could use their artillery over here. What did I say it was? 1 to 1, 2 to 1, 3 to 1. German naval headquarters support. I'm just wondering about the Cherbourg, the supply. I think they draw it from the 7th Army. So I'm going to spend a 7th Army point. This headquarters here is going to use some defensive fire support. Non-disrupted headquarters may provide a column shift via artillery shifts. Each headquarters can provide up to 2 column shifts. Oh no, German headquarters, 1 column shift per battle. That's it. So I'll do that, which brings it down to 2 to 1, and we'll see what happens. 2 to 1, 2 is an A1 DR. All right, so I'm going to take A1 DR. The attacker loses 1 step. Let's take it from the 4th Division. So they become a cadre. Actually, you know what? I'm probably going to get... I'm going to make it... no, the armor's pretty good. I'll make it a cadre. There we go. And a DR result. A1 DR, they may conduct a determined defence. Now I've just burnt through that. That did cost me 1 supply point. I'm in range. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'm in range to lend defensive support. It is other terrain. I would need a very good roll. If I fail, if I don't get this, I'm going to lose a strong point. This is a good position to hold while I can. So I believe, I don't think there's anything stopping the German artillery from participating in the combat and additionally participating in a determined defence. 12.4.3. Okay, do I flip over artillery to its non-ready side? Headquarters, blah, 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 East German. It says I must use headquarters. It doesn't say to flip it to their non-ready side. Face up, blah, blah, blah. 17.2. Do you flip a headquarters after using it? Is the question. In other games, you do. Each supply point allows you to shift. It can provide 2 shifts, blah, blah, blah. An A limit of 1 only applies to each battle. The cost of one's headquarters that are in supply can provide yeah, it says that headquarters that are forced to retreat or that move are flipped. I believe they can. I believe they can, and they are going to. So they're going to spend a supply to add 1 to this determined defense roll in other terrain. Lead unit, unfortunately, is a -1. So it's +1, -1. A 1 does nothing. So they have to retreat, yes. And unfortunately, we lose a strong point. But now we can advance into that hex. That's unfortunate. So that's what the Germans were trying to avoid. So they're not flipped when they fire, they are flipped when they move or retreat. Good to know. All right, now we do have these guys along the coast. We've got 9, they've taken replacements. So I've got 9 against 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I might come back to that. I'm going to focus here first. I've got 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 on 8, 9, 10. So looking at 1 to 1. I don't have an armor shift. I don't have a troop quality shift. I'm using Navy, and that's it for a 2 to 1. 2 to 1, 4 is a DR result. All right, so that's good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to try and keep these guys pinned in the beach as long as possible, so I'm using another supply point for a determined defense shift. I have my lead unit here, and a 6 is going to be, so it's +1, 7. Wow, this is an attacker loss. Any one attacking unit, the attacker's choice, not necessarily from main attacking force, takes a step loss. We'll take it from the 29th Division. Actually, you know what? We'll take it from the Rangers because yeah, So the Rangers will take a loss. Oh, they got 2 steps, so we'll take from them. And the retreat is cancelled. So it's 6 plus 1 for the support. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Range of 5 for the artillery. Added a plus 1 to this roll. Gave me a 6 plus 1, 7 in other terrain. There's no strong point there, is there? It's just infantry and AT. Yep. Success for the Germans. Wow. Omaha Beach is not going well. All right, let's try this attack out here. I use my Navy as well. So over here I've got 11 against 5, 6, 7. I don't get the armor shift. I do get a troop quality shift. So 1 to 1 becomes 2 to 1. 5 is a DR result. I think in this case they are going to... sorry, I did forget to put a disrupted marker on that unit. I think they're going to take it rather than trying to make a determined defense here. So they're going to retreat to here. They become disrupted. There's no headquarters out here to help them. And then I can advance. Look, why not? I can try and roll a 6 again. I'm going to try and make a determined defense. A 1. Nope. So I fail and retreat. And they can advance. Okay. They can't attack. They're done. Here we want to focus everything on this stack here. It is a defense of 6 in a town. Pushes them up to 10. Best if I throw everything at this. Well, let's try 4, 6, 10, 13. Look, 13 would be. Let's just try this. Let's go. They're not attacking across the river here, so it's unusual. But the river is not on the hex side. I believe it's just in the terrain, which doesn't halve them. I think. So that we've got. Oh geez, the problem is we've got 2 formations. So the Titan T's will attach to them. So it's a 8th Division attack 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 on 10. So 1 to 1. Going to bring in my Navy to make it 2 to 1. I do have superior troop quality, which makes it 3 to 1, but no armor shift. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The Germans, they're running low on supply, but this they want to try and hold coolly, so they're going to spend another supply point to make it 2 to 1. And a 3 is an exchange result. In an exchange, the opposing player chooses. They are going to take a step off that big armor unit, and they are going to take that AT out of the way. Now the exchange, no retreat. All right, the Germans are doing well. Over here, we are going to try and attack this hex now with what we've got here. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 on 5, 6, 7, 1 to 1. Don't have the troop quality shift. Don't have the armor shift. Looking at 1 to 1. 6 is a DR result. They will not try to make a determined defense. They will just try to. Oh look, they may as well. DR, determined defense, other position. A 6 is an exchange and a success. So they lose their infantry step. The Titan they will lose an infantry step as well, and they hold. Wow, these determined defences. Yeah, they're working. They are working. All right, let's hit Oosterham. We've got 6, 9. We've got, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 on 2, 7 to 1 before we don't need to do anything. A 3 is a D1 result. That is wiped out, and we will... Do I place them in reserve and then attack again? You know what, I might give it a go. I'm going to place them in reserve. Movement. All right. No combat here, no combat here. Combat is done. Reserve movement. This stack here is going to move 1, 2. So attack move up to there, and then attack down here. So I've got 12, 13, 14, 15 on 8, 9, 10. So I am 1 to 1, no armor shift. Ooh, I think the Germans get a troop quality shift. No, shift, yeah, troop quality shift. So 1 to 1 goes down to 1 to 2. I'm going to bring in my navy to make it 1 to 1 again. 1 to 1, 2 is no result, nothing at all, no effect. Wow, okay. So, no other reserve movement, American recovery phase, remove the replace markers, remove the regroup markers, replacements and replacements. Germans are putting up a really tough defense here. Supply phase, I think they're okay. They can feed supply through there. Everyone else is okay. Oh, wait, what are these? Sorry. Let me check these guys. Why did I put them on the turn track? Do they come in on the beach? No, gliders. These are gliders. Sorry, why are my gliders on the turn track? I've obviously put them there. They've got some special unit rules. But what are the special unit rules? I don't know. Maybe they're under reinforcements. Don't know, can't find it. Let me search for gliders, see what I can find. Two glider units arrive at the end of the initial phase of phase 2. Before the German plane moves, they must roll for scatter if their landing hex is enemy occupied. Okay, so they land in a location. But where? They must roll for scatter. Okay, so let's land them safely here and roll for scatter. 82nd, 5. Where's the landing? No, it's in the back of the rule book. 82nd, they are scattered. That's fine. They didn't want to do anything anyway. And then the 6th Airborne, they will roll, land smack bang in the middle there. Roll for scatter. 2. They take a step loss and are scattered. So step loss and scattered, and then those scattered markers are removed at the end of the turn. That's a replacement step for the 6th Airborne. We're done. That's the end phase. No airborne withdrawals, no automatic victory. End of the turn, folks. First 2 turns done. What is that taking me? A little over 2 hours. So I'm looking at an hour per turn, but like I said, first 2 turns are pretty slow. Things will start to speed up from here. Every turn gets a little bit quicker, and I will aim to continue this when I can. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll wrap it up here, but continue soon. Take care. Bye for now.